Today, I wanted to share with you the key elements for successful dog training. There are 3 fundamental steps that I highly recommend you follow. So, who am I? My name is Linda Kwan, and I am the owner and trainer at Wow Bow Wow. I specialize in working with family dogs, companion dogs, and I help the humans raise and train a well-adjusted and well-mannered dog. So the 3 fundamental steps that you really need to skill up on are, first, training mechanics. Training, smarter, not harder. So you empower yourself with the skills to train your pup, whether you do it, by watching videos or with a trainer, because you have to know how to communicate with your dog. I also would like for you to use positive methods tailored to your dog's unique learning style. And then, you know what? Sometimes you have to customize to address your dog's specific challenges. And this is where a trainer can come in handy, because some of the things you may be watching on YouTube or Googling, they're kind of like generic cookie cutter maybe suggestions, but you may not know what works specifically with your dog to address that specific issue that you're having with them. Now, the second thing you need to really skill up on is being able to read your dog. Now, what does that mean? Being able to read their body language, because, they don't speak English, Spanish, whatever language that you are primarily using. You have to understand what they're trying to tell you through body language. And secondly, learn the style that they use, the learning style that works best for them. And along the same line, you got to kind of start understanding their unique communication cues. Like, for example, my Jack, back when he needed to go out and the back door happened to be closed, he would come look for me and look at me, stare at me. And if I was too engrossed in whatever I was doing, he would make a noise, whether it be like gruffing or a quick bark or something, until I looked at him. And then when he got my attention, he would lead me to the back door. So, they will tell you a lot if you understand how to read your dog. And another part to this is you got to understand that not all dogs are social butterflies, and some of them may need your help to build their confidence. Now, the third fundamental step is consistency. Just like anything else in life, you have to practice. Over time, it becomes a habit. I don't know if you've done any of those like programs for changing habits, whether it's for how you do your work or how to lose weight or being better about exercising. It's all about consistency and building habits. So it's easiest when you establish a training routine that you can consistently implement in your daily life. If you make it too hard, you're not going to do it. You're going to quit. It's hard enough. So do it a way that you know that you can keep up with it. Include built-in accountability and gradually increase the difficulty with your dog and yourself. Yeah, just like anything you're learning, you obviously start with the fundamentals and then you increase the difficulty to get better. Whether, training your dog, learning an instrument, learning a sport, learning a new skill at work, new program. You start at the fundamentals and then add difficulty in incremental steps. And you know what I tell my clients? Don't forget to reward yourself for each of the steps when you accomplish, when you reach the next level. Don't forget to reward yourself and your pup. Now, if you don't skill up on all three of these, I see, things not progressing. For example, if you learn how to read your dog and develop your training skills, the mechanics, but if you're not consistent, progress will stall, and what you're trying to achieve, it's going to still elude you. The unwanted behaviors will persist. They're not going to go away. If you hone in your training mechanics and train consistently, but don't learn how to read your dog, you'll see some success. But because you haven't learned what they're trying to tell you, because communication goes both ways, you will miss their cues when they are experiencing difficulties. And basically, you'd be misreading them and thinking maybe, they're not listening to you. They're being difficult. They're being stubborn. In reality, you're missing some of the signals they're giving you that they may be having a hard time in the environment that you're training in or what you're asking them to do. If you learn how to read your dog and you're consistent in your training, but don't put in the time in learning your training mechanics, like I mentioned in the beginning, you're learning how to communicate with your dog. And if you don't do this, they're not going to understand what you're asking them to do. And you repeating it, the word or the hand signal over and over again, louder and louder, doesn't mean they understand it any better. Both of you will be frustrated. And again, I'm going to repeat, your dog is not being stubborn. They just don't understand what you're asking them to do because you're not clear in your communications. So if you're experiencing, any of these kind of problems that I mentioned, like progress is stalling, the unwanted behavior is still persistent. You may see some success, but you're not progressing because you can't read what your dog is telling you when they can't figure out what you're doing and asking them to do. And you know what? Both of you will get frustrated and it's just not going to progress. If you are missing any one of these fundamental steps, you're just not going to move forward in your training. But when you do, you will see the progress. You will start to enjoy your life with your dog. You will have a happy and well-behaved dog. And your bond with them, oh my God, it's going to grow exponentially. And what I like to do with my clients, my pet parents, the pet guardians, is to leave them with the skill set to be their own problem solver, where they may not need me in the future. And what I like to impart on them is to enjoy the journey with your dog. Learning with your dog, teaching your dog. because you brought home a dog voluntarily to add to your family as a companion. And you know what? They're not machines. It's not like you can take the batteries out when you're don't want to deal with them. You've got to put the time in. You've got to put the time in getting yourself trained and making sure you actually put in the time during the week. So, if you need help with maybe guidance on any one of these skill sets, or someone to help you with accountability, join one of my programs where you can finally experience success, ending unwanted behaviors, solving those pesky problems, and finally enjoy hanging out with your dog. Reach out to learn more about my programs. You can call me at this number, 714-794-9625. And on the actual location where you are seeing this, I have my contact information in the profiles. Either way, you can look at the websites or call me, and let's get something on the books here to get you moving forward, to get you the skill sets in place. So you know the training mechanics, how to read your dog, and to help you build consistency so you can finally succeed. Well, thank you for joining me for my Training Tip Tuesday, and I will see you next Tuesday.